Welcome back to English B Honeysuckle Unit 8. The remaining part of the unit is the poem Vocation by Rabindranath Tagore, and that is the subject of our discussion today. For our convenience, we have divided the lesson into two parts, but one consists of stanzas 1 and 2. Part 2 includes only the third stanza. As always, here are a few points for you to note. A short biography of the poet, a brief introduction to the poem, explanations of keywords and expressions, comprehension questions with answers, and summary at the end of each stanza. So let's begin. Rabindranath Tagore, popularly called Kavi Guru or the poet of poets, was born to Devendranath Tagore and Sarada Devi at Jorashako in Calcutta on 7 May 1861. He was a poet, philosopher, a cultural reformer, and an artist. He also wrote many stories, novels, poems, and dramas. He is especially known to the world for his composing music. He is the first Asian to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. His major works include Gitanjali, or Song Offerings, a world-famous poetry book. Novels like Gora or Fair-Faced, Ghare Baire or The Home and the World, and many other works of literature and art. He is one of the most famous wordsmiths India has ever seen. His songs have been adopted as a national anthem for two countries, India and Bangladesh. The poem under discussion is originally written in Bengali, named Bichitra Sadh or Wishes Manifold. The poem is also known as I Wish I Were. Here is a brief introduction to the poem. A child has to follow strict rules at home. He has to follow strict discipline in school. He is often subjected to punishment by his parents and teachers for making a mistake. Naturally, his desire for freedom is aroused at the sight of various persons, vendor, gardener, and the night watchman, who seem to enjoy what he desires. Let us read the first stanza of the poem. When the gong sounds 10 in the morning, and I walk to school by our lane, every day I meet the hawker crying, "Bangles, crystal bangles." There is nothing to hurry him on. There is no road he must take, no place he must go to, no time when he must come home. I wish I were a hawker, spending my day in the road crying, bangles, crystal bangles. The words and expressions that we have come across in the stanza are gong, lane, hawker, crystal bangles, and to hurry. Let us explain them. Gong. It means an object made of metal which gives sound when struck. Lane means a narrow road. Hawker, a person who travels about to sell easily transportable goods. Crystal bangles means clear and transparent bangles or glass bracelets. To hurry, to do things quickly. Let me introduce to you a word, persona. It means the narrator or the speaker of a poem other than the poet, not necessarily the poet. Here is a set of questions with answers to comprehend the poem. Let us see them. 1. Who is the persona in the poem Vocation? The persona in the poem is a school-going child burdened with restrictions. 2. Where and when does he or she meet the hawker every day? He meets the hawker at 10 o'clock in the morning every day in their lane on the way to school. 3. The hawker is not in a hurry. Why? The hawker is not in a hurry as he does not have any fixed road to take, nor does he have a particular place or a particular time to walk on. 4. What does the persona wish in these lines? Why? The persona wishes to become a hawker so that he can spend the day freely like the hawker, but he does not know the harsh reality. The life of a hawker is not as easy as he feels. The ideas contained in the stanza are summarized in this paragraph. I am going to read that. The child says that when the gong strikes 10 and he is on the way to school, he can watch a salesman shouting bangles, crystal bangles to sell his things. The child sees him and thinks that the vendor is free, is not in a hurry to reach anywhere, unlike a child who has to reach his school and come back home on time. He thinks that the bangle seller is free from any time constraints or is not place bound. He is free to move to any place he wishes. He feels as if he is confined, deprived of freedom which the vendor enjoys. He is so much impressed by the freedom of the vendor that he wishes to be a hawker. He wishes to move freely and shout just like him in the streets. Let us take up the stanza 2. When at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, I can see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade. He soils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes him to task. If he gets baked in the sun or gets wet, I wish I were a gardener, digging away at the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. The key words and expressions like gardener, digging the ground, soils his clothes, and nobody takes him to task have been used in this stanza. Let us explain them. Gardener, it means one who cultivates a garden. Digging the ground, breaking up the earth with hands or tools. Soils his clothes, it means makes his clothes dirty. Nobody takes him to task. It means nobody scolds him. Now, comprehension questions with answers. 1. Where is the persona now? Who does he meet here? What is he talking about? The persona is returning from school. He meets the gardener here. He is talking about the gardener's carefree life. 2. Mention the time the persona meets the other. The persona meets the gardener at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 3. What is the other person doing? He is digging the earth with his spade. 4. How has the man's action motivated the persona? The gardener is digging the earth while facing the sun, making his clothes dirty, but there is nobody to stop him from doing whatever he is doing. He sees that the gardener is at his will. His freedom motivated the persona to become a gardener. Now, summary of the stanza. The persona comes back home from school at 4 in the afternoon. Through the gate of the house, he notices the gardener digging the earth. The gardener's freedom to be in the dust and do the things of his choice with his tools attracts him. He thinks that the gardener has the freedom to dirty his clothes with soil, play with his tools, stay in the sun hours on end, get wet with sweat, or do anything. He is not getting any punishment for all this. On the contrary, if he does any of these things, he is sure to be punished. Fully ignorant of the hardships of that worker, the innocent child is attracted to be a gardener so that he can do things of his choice and no one around to stop him. The persona in the poem wishes to be a hawker. He wishes to be a gardener as well. Let's wait to see what he wishes next. This much is for today. We'll be back with the remaining part of the poem in the next class.